So, you're looking to get married, and it's 2024, and you need to know if this person you're marrying is the one for you. So, if they meet all these requirements, or maybe they don't have to meet all these requirements, but as a man, you should be looking for these requirements. If you plan on marriage, if you plan on having a successful marriage, it's essential you look for a character, an individual, a partner who fulfills these requirements. Because if not, you will go through what many have. You will suffer at the ends that many have because they refuse to not only listen, but also take in the effort, to put the effort in. They refused to do such. But within this video, I will definitely give you some of the things you should be looking out for if you do plan on getting married. If you do plan on taking someone serious for a long period of time. There is many things that go into this process. Many are under this ideology or under this brief understanding that what you see through the eyes is all that meets the eye, which is definitely not the case. The material world is very enticed by the material senses. Now, the material senses are great, right? It's how we connect with the world around us. Sight, vision, hearing, taste, feeling. This is how we immerse ourselves with nature itself. But when you're looking for a partner, it's essential to look for someone beyond the physical senses. It's essential to look for someone beyond this lust that you feel, this passion that you feel. Sure, as a man or a woman, your passions, your lusts, your drive will be very strong. This libido you feel is within all of us. This libido is this life driving force. But the first premise that you have to look for that is beyond looks, beyond anything in this material plane, is character. Character is the most important of all the attributes you can say on the physical plane. Because sure, she can look good, sure, she can have whatever proportions you may see around nowadays. Back in the 2000s, right, it may seem odd to many, but the ideal shape was a woman with a very slim figure, a huge bust, and a small behind. Nowadays, it's kind of the inverse. So as time progresses, we see that society is showing you what beauty standards are. Don't listen to society's set on what they consider beautiful. What's beautiful is always going to be what is within. Therefore, do not pick a wife based on what she looks like. Pick a wife based on her temperament, based on her character, how she chooses, how she thinks, how she perceives. The physical senses will lead you down a very painful hole in which you will have to take yourself out of. And you will think, how did I enter this hole? And these senses, the need to please these senses will often take you down this hole. We live in a current day and age where everything is instantly gratified. Attention, food, everything. Even sexual behaviors are done in a very gratifying behavior, instant gratifying behavior. The thing about marriage or a long-term relationship is that it's not an instant gratifying thing. The initial 3 months of the so-called cupcake stage is the initial serotonin, endorphin, and dopamine that you're initially feeling with this new love, which will cease to fade as you learn to repeat things over and over, they become nullified. The senses become a little bit more nullified to it. Does it stay? Does it remain? Yes, but the passion isn't as fiery as it once was. Now, the detriment as a man in 2024, if you live in the United States, especially in this type of scenery where everything seems to be instantly gratifying, you have to find a partner, whether you're a man or a woman who's looking for a partner. You have to look for a partner who understands sacrifice, not someone who enjoys sacrifice. I don't think anyone in life enjoys sacrifice, but it's part of life. Sacrifice and joy are two sides of the same coin. They have to exist. Life and death, mother, father, man and woman. There's duality within everything. Marriage is self-sacrificial because it allows you to not care about yourself. It allows you to understand that this is a unity in place. Marriage is like a dance. It's like an art where the man and the woman are dancing in this art of love. And it's essential. You find someone who understands that this won't always be sunshines, clouds, and rainbows, especially in a generation where everything is instantly gratified. Someone who understands patience and sacrifice is truly, truly rare and a very, very, very respectful figure because of it. Sacrifice is very, very difficult. Many people do not want to do it. They do not like trying new things. They do not want to do things that require more effort than it does, especially in today's culture, when you can easily find a new mate within 10 minutes with the amount of dating apps we have, with the amount of social media platforms that are also a form of a dating app. The ability to just replace someone in the matter of a few seconds allows for someone to not necessarily say, not gonna take your shit anymore, but it just leaves them in this constant state of flight, right? When things get tough, they don't get tough, they just get going. So you need to find someone who is willing to sacrifice with you. That's essential. So that right there is another part of marriage that you have to understand. If you want to get married, it's not always going to be this cloud of joy. You will have times where things arise, emotions arise, and etc. Disagreements may occur. You will constantly argue in circles, etc., etc., etc. But the premise is, if you want to maintain a long-term relationship with this individual, is to understand this concept of sacrifice. This concept of sacrifice is truly important. So, temperaments and character. These are two very important things to look for in a partner. But besides what you're looking for in a partner, as a man looking for marriage in 2024, it is essential you have some experience under your belt. As a man in 2024, there are a plethora of different avenues of men selling red pill content, men selling dominant masculine, quote unquote, alpha male courses, etc. All of these courses are to not only just to create a brand and to create some monetary value over a situation that's very, very simplified. The reason why they complicate this situation is to make a market. But the main premise, besides looking for character, besides looking for temperaments, you as a man need to be experienced. You have to be experienced with dealing with women. You have to understand their temperaments. You have to understand neuroticism. You have to understand chaotic fits. You have to understand the emotions. You must understand and learn how to ride the emotions like the oceans. It can be a beautiful wave. It can be a very angry, forceful, triumphant tsunami. But as long as you're riding the tides, you will always stay in your frame. The main premise that a lot of guys lose is they lose their polarity. Polarity is very essential in a marriage. You need to maintain this polarity. And this polarity will always be either tried to, as a woman, her job, well, her instinct is to constantly test and pull at your boundaries, to see and poke at your strengths. Because as a woman, it's her job to push you not only to be a strong man, but to be a man who sticks to his purpose. This is why they test boundaries. This is why they test you so much, because they need to test to see if you're truly the man that they should stay with. If you continually pass these tests, she will only love you more, because that's how these tests go. It's essential you have experience. For a man who's inexperienced in women's tendencies, their temperaments, their changes in nature of moods, they're not understanding it's quite easy, right? They don't understand that as long as you remain, everything will remain. You have to remain. The more you move with the water will consume you. But if you stay firm, the water will just go around you. It's like when they say this saying of the mountain, this massive mountain. So many winds are gusting, screaming across the mountain, but the mountain stays firm and still. You have to be experienced in some degree. I'm not telling you to go date 100 women like some of these red pill guys, go sleep with 40 women. I'm not advocating for any of this. What I'm advocating for is for you to learn a little bit before diving deep into marriage. You should learn a little bit about characters, not just about the character you're dealing with. Learn a lot about human nature. Learn about fight or flight. Learn about the limbic system. Learn about the triune brain. Learn about how people are functioning. Learn about traumas, behaviors, how things stem off each other. Learning these things will not only help you become a better husband, it will help you become a better leader, a better father, a better role model to whoever it is. So learn these things. Some of these topics are on this channel as well. One of my favorites to talk about is specifically the triune brain. The triune brain explains a lot of human tendencies, whether they're animalistic tendencies or straight on narcissistic ego tendencies. We could see these are all operating off either the limbic system or what we know as the reptilian brain. So as a man, you must be experienced before marriage. Okay? There's no year requirement I'm going to set on any of you. There's no year requirement on marriage, but there should be some experience on your behalf. You should learn about women before you want to truly marry one. You should learn what it's like to live with one before marrying one. You should learn all these things because it is essential, right? I often hear many men tell me how they often regret not keeping a solid frame because their lack of leadership has led to their demise. Their lack of experience has led to their demise. A lot of people wish, I wish I knew that earlier. Then maybe this wouldn't have happened. But do not fear. You don't have to think that way because your experience shapes who you are. And as long as you learn from it, it is essential. But the premise that I'm trying to finalize at is you need to stay experienced as a man. You need to constantly build your experience. As a man, you never stop gaining experience. Think of it as a long list of resume of all your accomplishments, all your achievements, and everything you've done. This list will never end until you pass. So constantly stay experienced in many plethora of different things. Reading, women, gym, etc. Just stay on these things. Your work, your passions. It's essential to stay on your purpose and your drive. So it's essential, guys, to truly be experienced before we jump into marriage, because the inexperienced lover will get burned.